Just piggybacking off of what you said, like, I am in the gym probably most of the time, but I don't really spend time really focusing on my mindset. That's very important because after playing for so many years, you really notice that everyone can really shoot and everyone can play. Everybody has skills, but the real difference between a lot of games and just a lot of players in general is that mindset.
So before we deep dive into that, why do you think people don't practice it?
I think they don't know how to. I think it's hard as well.
And I think if you don't know what you don't know, and we spoke about this the other day as well, is going, okay, so coaches often say to their players, I need you to be more gritty. I need you to be more aggressive. I need you to believe in yourself more. I get that a lot. Have confidence more. And the kids are going, if I knew how to do it, I'd do it. With that big circle, in terms of it gets asked for a lot, and then there's this kind of gap. How do I do that? How do I be more consistent?
No, for sure. Coaches that have that all the time. Getting the blueprint. And then I think over time that makes it worse for us.
Yep.
Their coach keeps bugging them about, yo, you need to be more confident, you need to believe in yourself. Is hearing that over and over again is like repetitive, and especially if that athlete doesn't have solutions, they're really, absolutely people who they couldn't handle it, they quit. It's unfortunate, but yeah, it's tough if you don't have this solution.
That's where I want this podcast and this recording to fill a gap. What you've experienced, what you said about those other players, is exactly what I've seen in the last 14 years, where they go, I need this, and how do I do it? Unless they sometimes have the relationship with a coach or a mentor that can say, wait, this is the way it can help. They just get left on their own devices. And I guess unless curiosity or a growth mindset is a thing that they're blessed with, it becomes just, I don't know where to go. So that's what we want to unpack today. The word consistency, which is a bit of a buzzword amongst coaches, teaching somebody else, if they've heard that before, dude, you got to be more consistent. You got to be more consistent with X, Y, Z. What do you think, like in basketball, very specifically, where is consistency sought after the most?
I think it's sought after, and when I hear that, I think of just and being in the gym, consistent, putting out the shots Monday through Sunday in there, and just trying to avoid that goes to.
Okay, so gym specific.
Yeah, gym specific.
And I'm curious, because it's good that we have a seat in between us as well, for those of you who can't see visuals. It's one of the kind of what's called techniques I use. And we find out from you, who does consistency fairly well, how you learned it. Because if you learned it, because it's a skill, it means somebody else can learn it. And that's what we want to get from these podcasts, is that somebody can learn from you who does this thing called consistency. But we need to unpack how you got there. Was there somebody that you idolized that was really consistent? Where did the penny drop with regard to it? Was it exposure from family or friends? Talk me through that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think deeply. I don't know. I'd say it's a couple of things. I used to love Kobe growing up, and then just watching those little videos on the internet. He used to say he used to be in the gym from 4 a.m., 6 a.m., get some sleep, come back around 6 or 10 and do it again. Yeah. And just seeing how great he was, I was like, wow, that sort of changed. Okay. And then I had my older brother, he used to play soccer, and just watching him, he used to go out in the backyard a lot and work on his game consistently, and just seeing him doing that.
Was that a daily thing that you observed with him?
For sure. Yep. Yeah. And I think also, just growing up, I wasn't the best player, so I was like, all right, something changed. And my mom actually, she instilled that in us. Like, she used to just pull me and my brother out to the driveway, and people were trying to teach us. Yeah, I think her too was just teaching us about, do you want to get from there and to that? Work.
Sure. And fun fact, I don't know if you know this, and maybe you do, or the body, the brain, the two of them, they aren't disconnected, because you don't walk around with your head disconnected from the body. So the more consistently you or any other athlete does the thing that they do behind the scenes, the more the body goes, I'm safe. I've been here before. I know what this drill is about. I'm safe. And when the body feels safe, the mind starts to feel safe. So it works from bottom up as opposed to top down.
Yeah.
So that should hopefully be a fun thing for some people out there as well.
Yeah. When you put up, like, I think about it, I say this a lot. When we talk about confidence and trying to get that, it comes from the work you put in. Because if you take a math test and it's like a big math test coming up, and you don't study the night before, and you're not gonna pass it, and you're not gonna feel confident. But if you study a month before, like, you're gonna be ready.
The repetition and the preparation that you put in.
It's the same thing with basketball, and just like in Jordan, where that's an example I was trying to be. Just stay prepared, stay ready, so no guy get.
So you had 3 people, Kobe, your older brother, and your mum, that kind of helped to open your eyes, maybe not consciously, but unconsciously, to this thing called consistency. What was their thinking around it? Did they ever, I'm just curious, like when your mum said, okay, let's go today, was there any hang up about it? Was there, like, your brother, did they just get on with it? What was their talk around doing those little things daily, like their actual verbal talk? Can you remember?
Yeah, I mean, with my brother, it was oftentimes I would go with him, and yeah, it would be more, like, it would be on me, because there was some stuff I didn't want to do as a kid.
Yeah.
It's still hard and whatever, but that stuff helped me in the long run. And then sometimes he didn't say anything at all. It was just me watching him, and just go about his workouts. That just inspired me. And yeah, I'd say the same thing. And there were some things I didn't want to do. I would whine and everything, but yeah, looking back at it, definitely motivated me. And sometimes I didn't want to go outside.
Yeah.
And my brother would go, and just watching them do it. And he started to get better. I'm like, okay, I can't get that behind.
Nice.
This works. Right? Consistency and working on your game, that works.
So if somebody had to be sitting here, say somebody younger, who doesn't have or might not have that kind of role model in place, whether it be a Kobe, a mum, or a brother, what kind of advice would you give them?
Yeah, I think it's simple. I think it comes down to how to you learn it. You talked about the growth mindset. If you don't put in the work, then you can't. You can't rebuild well. Nothing changes and nothing changes. That's the core. If you don't change the way you work, if you don't change your current situation, if you're not a top player on your team, like, you can do something about that. And it just starts with you rather than everyone else. I used to put blame on coaches, just put blame on everybody else, but without.
Because it's easy. It's easier, should I say.
Yeah. All it takes is you being consistent and just lock in terms of what.
Consistent, locking and knowing what you want. So if you had to go and find, I'm just going to drill down a bit more, if you as a player, this person who's sitting next door to us who hasn't got the role models in place, if they were to go and try and find them, they just need to find out how badly they want it, and those people will come, or do they need to talk to people? How would you, again, think about somebody who hasn't got any markers for this thing called consistency? Where else could they, if they don't want to look internal, do they have to talk to give me some more meat as where else could they go and get this sting?
Yeah, cool. They can go and talk to people. Maybe it doesn't even have to be a fellow athlete. It can be just someone that works hard. And it's their verifying the mom or dad, or whoever it is. They can just seek that advice by just asking simple questions and being a student.
Curious.
Being curious is always great because you can learn something from anything.
100%. One of my favorite quotes is either green and growing or ripe and rotting. So you can either be green and growing, which is that growth mindset, or you can have the fixed mindset, which is ripe and rotting. It's not going to get anywhere. Consistency is not a thing that's my jam. It's not what I was born with. I can't do this. But we like to, on my kind of coaching perspective, is we always try and find out who does consistency really well, and let's go and pick its brain. Let's go and find out what was their motivation, what was their thinking, where did they start, did they read about it? Do you read? Are you a reader?
Yeah.
Yeah? Wow.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
Sometimes.
What are you currently reading? Anything?
I read the Bible.
Nice.
Yeah, read the Bible. And then, other than that, in the past, I'm now looking at it. I did read some kids' books, sports books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's a good way to practice consistency.
Yeah.
You read 10 pages a day. You've read 30 books in a year.
Yeah.
Because sometimes for a player, when they don't have that thing, we're talking about consistency, the gap from where they are to where they want to be with consistency is so big, and there's so many steps that they actually don't end up taking any.
Right. Yeah.
So we then pull it back and go, okay, where can we learn consistency that's not necessarily right there and then in the trenches with, say, basketball? So then I go, okay, do you have hobbies? Just curious, do you have hobbies?
Me? Yeah.
That's not basketball, that's our hobby.
Yeah.
That's your career.
I like to curate content.
Okay. Yeah. And do you have to do that consistently?
Yeah, I like to be consistent. We got it. Yeah.
And what's your thinking with regard to the content and the creation of content? What's your attitude, your ethos around that?
Yeah, I just try to be myself and just be authentic.
Okay. Okay. And that helps with the consistency? How does that help consistency?
Yeah, it does actually help consistency, because if I'm being authentic, then I just show them that I do it.
Okay.
And show my thoughts that I'm feeling at a certain point.
Okay. And so when you are hitting the gym consistently, when you are, I don't like to use the word push, it hasn't got great energetic feel, but when you are putting yourself outside your comfort zone consistently, is that authentic? That's you? Is that how you vibe?
Bring yourself to a side.
Outside your comfort zone. And being a better version of you. Is that authentic? Messy?
Yeah. There's wouldn't.
Yeah. Do you get the connection?
I don't know. How you think so?
Okay, so you said when you do consistent content, for example, because we always look at where else can I borrow strategies from? Consistency is a strategy. You can either do consistency or not do it, but then if you don't have the strategy, we can teach you the strategy. You even teach yourself.
Yeah.
So I asked about books, asked about hobbies, and you said, oh, my one hobby is content creation. I was like, oh, but I know content creation has got a lot to do with consistency. Yeah. So what's the mindset around the content creation? You go, oh, being authentic. Okay. So you're authentic when you create content, which is how you see consistency. So when you are, it's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because why do you think athletes actually play the game that they play? Why?
Because they love it. Feels like they're being themselves.
And true to them is being that this version of them, which is authentic self.
And it definitely works with consistency.
Cool. See how your brain's already gone, get it. So we look for other places that doesn't have to be on the basketball court. Can be anywhere else that you consistently train up. What do you walk, talk like? What does it look like when you're being that consistent person? And then we implanted it into your game, into whatever aspect of your game. So is there an aspect of basketball, even though you do consistently pretty good, like in the gym, is there another aspect of your game that if you had to infuse consistency a little bit more, it would really elevate your game?
Yeah, I think probably consistent in details of basketball. Watching film.
Okay. Phil? So consistently giving yourself feedback, is that what Phil does?
Yeah, consistently giving yourself feedback, watching others. I think as well as basketball is very complex. There's so much details to shooting a basketball in terms of like where's your target, even movement. If you take the step there, how does that affect your defender? So I'd say like getting more. I could give more consistent area of the game where it takes you from average to.
Okay. And what would you call that area of the game? Is that part of the film, or is that area of the game?
That's just like the details.
Details.
The deep details.
Details.
Yeah.
Do you know how to do that? Do you know how to get those deep details that you need to?
I'm learning.
Okay.
I don't know. I definitely don't know everything.
Okay.
But that's what makes it fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Film. I know just from past people, even that I've worked with, not only with mountaineers, but other sporting codes, that watching that film is gold. And if you consistently do that, you're going to start seeing your own patterns. These stops kids from doing that.
One, if they don't know how to watch,
Okay.
Two, it's boring.
It has that B word.
It's boring.
And it's something you and I alluded to. In my mental makeup, consistency used to mean to me doing the boring thing. If I had a mindset shift back then, I could have said consistency helps me to become more like masterful of my trade. But I'm going to choose to make it mean boredom. So you think, okay, kids stop doing film or don't do film because they don't know how to, and they get bored.
Yeah, I have one more. I think it's also scary because like you exposing yourself.
Yeah, big time. Feedback.
And so no one wants to see that they're doing the wrong thing. It takes you to drop pride and just be humble and say like, all right, this is where I'm at and this is what I got to do to fix it. But it's not easy.
It's easier said than done.
For sure. Yeah.
And I guess that comes down to mindset, because even the mindset of watching film, the mindset of going, okay, I'm using this as feedback. It's constructive as opposed to a slap on the wrist. So human beings, and this could be a great takeaway for anybody, maybe yourself, we give meaning to things that have no meaning. So you watch film, like the meaning of watching film is you're watching film. The meaning kids and people give the film is I am sucky, or I am not good enough, or I only make whatever. If you can go in, not you, anybody, clean slate, but there's no meaning other than we're watching films to get data to do the deep drills. Can you see what a difference that would make?
Yeah. I'm going to use I'm going to use that now.
Nothing has meaning unless you choose to give it meaning. Yeah? Why do you like that?
Because we put too much pressure on ourselves as people. We make situations a lot bigger than what they are. And it just causes us to create narratives that us.
And narrative is mindset. Yeah? So nothing has meaning unless you want to give it meaning. And we're a meaning-making machine in a meaningless world. So we can choose our meaning.
Sure. Very sure.
Yeah. So choose wisely, young apprentice. I want you to take the pen and paper that you've got in front of you. Is this giving you some good like stuff? Are you getting some?
Yeah.
Light
I
bulbs?
actually need to write that last thing you said.
Go for it.
Well, what was it again?
Okay. Nothing has meaning unless you give it meaning.
I think it was that.
Yeah. Nothing has meaning unless, and that would be for any listener out there.
Yeah.
I lost the game. Oh, that means I suck. No. You lost the game. You lost the game. There's the meaning.
That's it.
But we go and put layers and layers. Oh, that means I am not good enough. That means I'll never get to college. That means whatever. And we have the power to choose what meaning but what it gives us. And then the last one was we're meaning-making machines as humans in a meaningless world. Like, for example, you stub your toe, right? You go around the couch, you stub your toe. There's no meaning other than you hit your toe. It doesn't mean you're clumsy. It doesn't mean that you are, I don't know, wrong-footed. It doesn't mean, it just means your foot was in this same position as the couch. But it's pretty empowering.
Yeah, it takes the pressure off. Discipline. That's really good. I hope the listeners got that.
So we started with consistency. Let's just go back a little bit. We started with consistency and how that would change things for you. You said film, going deeper into the details, if you were more consistent around that. How do you think, just curious here, what do you think Kobe's mindset was around film and what his mindset was around details?
I think his pursuit is deeper than everyone else's.
Yep.
He really wanted to be the greatest.
Yep. Okay.
If you want to be the greatest, you can't do the same things other people are doing. You gotta find the details that is so separate, and that's just his style. I think that was why. So right. So rocking these details.
And if he was here, if he was here and he was looking at this and he's going, Matthew, okay, film, deep details. Kobe, we know that's going to give us consistency. We need to be a bit more What do you think his advice would be around those two things?
His advice will probably be to just learn as much as you can.
On your own or with somebody else?
And same with someone else, because you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
You can't just you know how to get mentorship for some of these local.
So for yourself, would there be somebody that could help you with film and deep details that you would think of?
For sure.
Do you currently reach out to them?
Yeah. And I have a few guys who help me, like from overseas players from
So is that going to really make a difference then if you're actually doing that already and that's what he's saying? Is there something else that's missing out of this? Yeah. So if he was sitting here again, Kobe, and for the people listening, you could always use, this is what we call with the archetypes, we use the archetype of Kobe, Mamba mentality. Yeah, he was Mr. Consistency on many things, especially film details. What else would he say with regard to that? So yes, you've got a mentor. Yes, you got somebody who's walked the path before, but what else would he say with regard to that? Will really give me the edge.
Maybe it's in potential. I think so. Yeah, because like I said, his motive was just to be the greatest. He probably believed that he could, he probably believed that he could win 10 championships. And he was probably using it.
So he believed 10 championships. Do you believe that?
Wherever I play, I believe I can ring. And then
True. How do you think he started making himself consistent? Because do you think he was born with this thing called consistency? How do you think he taught himself, or how did he expose himself to that concept for one?
I think he had to watch and do it before. Okay. And then I think it just came down to his goal as a person, his mission.
Okay.
He felt like his mission was, and he just knew that to take shortcuts.
Is your mission and goal defined?
Is my mission goal defined? I think so. I think it's still writing itself.
How does it feel when you say that? Do you feel congruent with saying, I think so? Does it feel?
Yeah, I think genuinely I'm like, I'm on the right path. I think I'm on the right path. And as time goes on, I think if I just continue to take care of what I do every single day, consistency, I'll be where I want to be.
Anything else that we need to learn from him as a mentor around consistency? Take your time. Take a deep breath in if you need to.
Let's see.
Okay. A lot of kids do use him as a kind of, I don't know if they just talk the talk of Kobe, but don't really know what it's like to put their feet in his shoes. So metaphorically, next time you do film and details, if you had to put, do you play in Kobe's?
Yeah.
Okay.
Used to.
Yeah? Because it's a pretty good actual movement is to put yourself in the shoes of that person and see how comfortable that feels or uncomfortable. And there might be one or two beliefs that need to just be sharp.
That's true.
So next time you're watching film, the next time you're watching the details, put yourself in the shoes of him. Because if you had to put yourself in the shoes of Kobe watching film, what does that change?
Yeah. I think it would change, bro.
Like what? That was just something tweaked now with your face. There's something that dropped there.
Yeah, because like I said earlier, he wanted to be great.
Yep.
I don't know if it was because he wanted to take care of his family. His motivation was crazy. He just wanted to be great. And if you have that in your mind, and that's like, I gotta be great. I gotta be great. Your details, your film might take 5 hours.
It may.
And it doesn't matter. He's like that. Yeah.
And that would be different for you? But it'd be a tune-up for you?
I think not always, like you told me, being great. I think I lose sight of it sometimes.
Okay.
I believe anyone can be great if they are consistent and they make up their mind and remind themselves of their goals. I think sometimes I get not complacent, but like you lose sight of it.
Okay. Human. So how would he have kept sight of his mission and goal that you're not doing?
Thank you. It's little as burning in down.
Boom. There's a reason why I asked you to bring the pen and paper.
Yeah, we
Do you journal? Okay.
That's a big time approach. I was thinking, I need
Fist bump. And what would that catalyst be? If you had to journal, because it's actually one of my 8 pillars that creates a lot of confidence in players, is journaling, right? If you had to do that consistently, what would it give you?
It would give you accountability.
Not you.
It would give me.
Yeah, there you
It
go.
would give me accountability.
Yeah.
It would give me an opportunity to just say whatever's in my mind.
Nice.
And then also look back. And I think I do a thorough way through our meetings.
Sure. Because it's a form of journaling, 100%. It doesn't have to always be old school. I get that.
Yeah. But there's some things that you don't see, you don't share.
Yeah.
And I can share it.
Nice. So is that something I can hold you accountable to?
Yes.
Consistently starting there.
Yeah.
And first thing that normally pops up for people, especially athletes, is they go, I don't know what to write. Do you have to know what to write? So I'm going to task you with one thing. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So for anybody listening, this is an awesome strategy to use. Right? In your dominant hand. So are you dominant right hand? Okay. Can you do left-handed ease and stuff like that as well? Good. Because this is going to actually help for the brain integration too. Is how long, if I can task you, because it's consistency is every day. It's not just when you feel like it. If you had to consistently journal for 5 minutes a day, is that enough? Is that okay? Does that sound?
So it's doable.
Yeah. Whether it be in the morning, whether it be at nighttime, I don't mind. What do you feel like? Do you want to do midday? Do you want to do it when you have a, I don't drink. Do you drink coffee? Do you have the juice in the morning? What's your ritual in the morning?
Yeah, just get up.
Okay.
And go to the gym.
Okay. Perfect. So if you could pause,
Yeah.
wake up, do whatever you need to do, have a glass of water, and just sit for 5 minutes. Is it end of the day or beginning of the day for you?
It'll be giddy.
Okay.
Probably when I'm most sharp.
Nice. Okay. 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And all I'm going to ask you to do for the first week is with your dominant hand, you write down in your journal. That's the perfect journal. You don't have to go and get the devil. It doesn't have to be bells and whistles. What is my focus for today? And I want you to answer it in your non-dominant hand. So you write the question, what is my focus for today? And you answer it in your non-dominant hand.
Wow. Yeah, I'm excited to see the results.
And it's for you. I don't need to see it. I don't need to whatever. You've got a great strategy around consistency. This thing called journaling is going to help you empty a bucket, mental headspace, number one, which then creates some more space for stuff on court. It's going to give you feedback, what you said. It's going to give you, again, consistency. What was the other thing that you said it's going to give you if you journaled? That's it. Because you're big on that for yourself. I could just feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah? But this is going to add a flavor. Do you think he journaled? I don't. I'm with you. If I look at the great, especially men, male, female, the great men out there were incredible journalists.
You're right.
Marcus Aurelius, Winston Churchill. There was another one that I had the other day. And whether the journaling be pictures, I don't mind. You might come out, like you're going to do it in one hand, it could be doodled, I don't care. But it also gets out on paper. There's just magic. What you could have done.
I believe it. I'm excited to see how it changes.
Yeah.
Especially for things.
Yeah. Pretty exciting. And what I want to thank you for, Matthew, is that the younger generation, anybody, giving themselves 5 minutes of me time, it's 5 minutes a day, and where they can just be authentic to themselves, yet it's so good for their soul, which then, when that's topped up, when your cup is full, you're going to be playing in a totally different.
100%. I think you also put these, like we talked about earlier, giving things meaning. What's only going to matter is with you. Whatever matters to you. I think journaling can block out outside noise, outside opinions. You can just, you're locked in your mission, and you're content with yourself and your thoughts. So,
You're on the money. My last question, the last few questions. For you to journal 5 minutes a day, we give you a what? And we just want to check if it's ecological, meaning, is it going to feel good? I'm just curious. It might not initially. It might not feel good.
yeah, especially using my left hand.
Yeah. But is it good for you?
Yes.
Is it good for others?
Yeah.
Is it good for the greater good?
Yes.
Nice. So here's the kind of crux of the matter. If it doesn't feel great, 90% of people don't want to do it. Because they want to do what feels good, which is good for them, and it's good for others, and it's good for the greater good. But that's also their comfort zone. So when you start doing something that doesn't feel amazing, but it is good for you, it's good for others, and it's good for the greater good, that's when you're playing there. Because he did a lot. I'm pointing to Kobe on my piece of paper. He did a lot of stuff that didn't feel great. Waking up 4 a.m., like, hello. Each day. But it was good for him, it was good for others, and it was good for the greater good. He played in that zone 80% of the time. Whereas others play 80% of the time in it feels good.
Yeah.
Good for you, it's good for others, it's good for the greater good. But so they get it, the 80-20 upside down. I'm going to show you a visual, and I'll probably put it in the show notes as well. I'll run it through with you afterwards because I don't have the visual right now. But if you start playing in the, I'm doing something that feels uncomfortable, like lifting weights, but it's good for me, it's good for others, it's good for the greater good, that's where 80% don't.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. Yeah, and I've noticed that.
But what have you noticed? Just give me some more.
Yeah, not too long ago, I had this insane workout. Coach I had training youth back at home, and it's probably one of the hardest workouts I've ever done.
So it didn't feel good,
It didn't feel good.
but it was good for you,
It was good for me.
it's good for others,
Yeah.
and it was good for the greater good.
Yeah. And it just made me realize like how I like being comfortable.
You're humans.
You can't grow, you can't get better like this. And you can't be great.
No.
So it made me realize that, hey, my workouts have to be, I got to dread wanting to come to work out. That's how work you got to go.
Yep.
Not just in basketball, but same like.
And that's a matrix that could be utilized in any kind of aspect. And please share it with your people you're coaching, that if you're doing something that feels amazing, I'm not saying you don't do it. It's good for you, and it's good for others, and it's good for the greater good. So let's give them context. What feels amazing, it's good for you, and it's good for others, and it's good for the greater good. Well, maybe that's content creation. It feels good. Like for you, it comes naturally, it's easy, yeah? But if you spend 80% of your day creating content, and only 20% of your day, I don't know, doing something that, when it's inverted, that's when mediocrity seeps in. And then there's the other ones that it feels good, it's not good for you, it's not good for others, and it's not good for the greater good. Then you got exit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just a really interesting model that we use at coaching quite a lot, is to find out if there's something that people want to do, like consistency, there's going to be a lot of things that they actually need to do that doesn't feel good. They need to play here, and you'll see it all in show notes. But they can do it. Is there anything else that we need to add to make this a bit more complete for you? You've walked away with your journaling that you're going to do 5 minutes a day. Write the word, write the sentence out with one hand. You've got to actually answer it in the opposite hand. I want you to infuse this in there to keep that first and foremost of missions and your goal, because you said he was very big on keeping his...
Yeah, I think if anything, it'd be that. Let me ask you, how do you want to define that goal and two,
Yep. Define the goal, like the mission.
yeah, like where you want to be.
Yep. If I was working with somebody who didn't know where they wanted to be,
Yeah.
because I find that often in the workshops that I run where kids go, because I am very big on working on outcomes. What is the outcome that you want to get? What do you want to achieve after this session? What do you want to achieve after this gym? Whatever. There's always, it's not with the end in mind. It's a coaching philosophy. And if they don't know what they want, because I am picking up on what of that, people don't know what they want. They know what they don't want, and they can wax lyrical about what they don't want. I don't want this. I don't want to be broke. I don't want to be injured. I don't want language. I get them to write all of that down, and then we start workshopping what is it that it actually looks like, what that they do want. Because I don't have the answers. I'm not you, I'm not walking in your shoes.
Yeah.
But I start with the opposite side of what is it that they don't want. Oh, I don't want to miss the free throw. Well, what do you want? Oh, I actually want to make the bucket. Then tell your body to make the bucket, yeah? Or I don't want to be late to practice, or I don't know, you insert whatever here. I don't want to fail. Me. What do you want instead? Oh, and that's how I would work with somebody like that who's unsure of their goal.
I like that. Yeah. And then I think you journey.
It is.
The power of journaling.
It is. It's magic. It's something, to be full transparency, I wish I could actually use more consistency around. So thank you. You've actually helped me as well today. And this is what I love about these things. I ain't got all the answers. But I'm going, okay, so he's learned consistency. He's going to apply it to this thing called journaling. I know it's going to give him the edge. I've seen it for myself. So what stops me from doing it? And I know people, I've had workshops, Matthew, when I've put pen and paper in front of people and they go, I don't know how to cut this without a scissors. They're like, let's make a plan. It's a medium that's not used a lot anymore. But you're a folder, you're a sports person who relies on kinesthetic, you rely on touch feels. So this is like just magic for the brain and for the body. So I am a big fan of athletes journaling, no matter what. But you ask the question with your dominant hand and you answer it with your non-dominant, and you would be blown away with what comes out.
So what's that question?
So what is it that I need to focus on today? That could be your first month, first week. And in fact, it's a great strategy. If there's ever anything that you're stuck on, you write the thing that you're stuck on, because we all get stuck on stuff, with your dominant hand, and then you answer it from your non-dominant. So like, why am I not feeling as on top of the world this week as what I have in the past? You ask it in your dominant hand and you answer it in your non-dominant hand. Magic. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time. I trust there was some nuggets there for you and for others. And like I said, you served me as well. I look forward to hearing how it goes and seeing your progress on and off the course.
Yeah. Appreciate it. Yeah, this is great. It's definitely opened my mind to think deeply. And basketball it's a high percentage, but you can master that. You can really separate yourself from that stuff. So I think with this journaling, it's just getting more layer. I'm be a new player.
Nice. And I love it. Wherever it goes to with your journals, you can lock them away, keep them for your kids one day if you wanted to. If you don't want to, there's no rules around it whatsoever. Because I know sometimes that stops a lot of kids, a lot of adult athletes. I don't know where to start, and just let it flow. It's a great hobby. Because remember, that was one of my questions. What are you reading? What's your hobbies? Yeah. There's a big reason why I do that. It's got a lot to do with the right brain and right hemisphere of the brain. So once you start, and this is why I'm loving these chats, it's just so much exposure that kids, younger athletes, might not have even thought of. Because let's be honest, basketball and journaling, like how do the two, where do they meet?
They don't teach you that.
I know. Imagine you were a coach, not you, somebody else was a coach, and they actually journaled about their games afterwards, as opposed to just sitting there going, oh, well, I said this wrong, or I did this. If you see something on paper and you get it out, because I know I do work with a lot of coaches as well, and I know they go, it's a lonely lifestyle. Like, who do I unload off to? I don't want to take it out on the partner, not take it out. I don't want to come home grumpy or...
And the thing is, you can't tell everybody. And
boom. So enter the journal. Do you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And it's not just about pre-pictures and stickers and stuff like that. It's a really good methodology. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have a great one.
Yeah. You too. Yeah, this is great.